Oh, if we quest, though. If we quest, we can give Reckless to Daisy again. Daisy, you're Reckless. And then we pass the turn. That's what we got going on. I'm Ben, and this is Readysetink, and today we're talking about this Emerald Steel deck on Dreamborn.ink. That's where we build these decks, and then we're going to play it on a simulator called inktable.net, and we're going to launch it here from Dreamborn. But anyway, here we go with our green steel big bodies list. Why do we call it big bodies? Because we got some big bodies. We got John Silver, a 5/5 body. We got Cinderella, a 5/5 body. And we got John Silver, a 6/6. We're gonna be all right with these characters on our team. We have the You Came Back action card, which I think is underrated. Not a lot of decks are putting this in right now, and I think it should be in a deck because if you ready your Cinderella, boom, you can quest for 6 lore with Cinderella, and that would be disgusting. This is the new John Silver from Azurite, and he only quests for 2, but his abilities are pretty cool. You can shift him for 6, and that's okay because we have some John Silvers to shift this on, but it's got the resist 2. Damage to this character is reduced by 2, so if they're going to sing Let the Storm Rage On or something, it's going to do no damage. If they sing Grab Your Swords, boom, no damage done. And then it has this ability right here. Don't just sit there. It says at the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to each opposing Resi character. So if they play a character down and it's still like drawing for that turn, they haven't exerted it, you know, we're going to be able to do a damage to it. And let's say it's like a Chernobog's followers. They're hoping to draw a card next turn. Joke's on them. John Silver is going to take it out if it has 1 willpower. Or it might just be enough to take them out. Like if it's a 3 willpower character and we do a damage and then we hit them with another 2 damage, or in this case, another 5 damage with Along Came Zeus. I think that this might pair well with songs like Let the Storm Rage On and stuff, but this is what we got. We also have the transport pod with the 7 Dwarves Mine go around. I like it a lot because the 7 Dwarves Mine, the first time that we move a character here, we get to do a damage or 2 damage if it's a knight. And we put in these knight characters. We have Cinderella and Cinderella. Those are knight characters. Also, our Doc is a knight character. So if Transport Pod picks up any one of those and moves them to the 7 Dwarves Mine, we get to ping 2 damage. We like it a lot. This deck is pretty cool. We like the Captain Hook as well because if they challenge into it, we're going to get to draw a card. And if they don't challenge into it, we're going to get to quest for 2 lore. Lots of locations in this deck, 15. The deck list is in the description of this video. Please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out so much. And we're going to play a game together by going to Menu, Export, Inktable, Play on Inktable.
Things that we learned in this video. Giving someone Reckless is almost just as good as banishing them. Like, I want to get rid of that Daisy Duck, but I can't do it because they got a bodyguard. But guess what? Now she's Reckless. Number 2, that green Stitch can one-shot Cinderella Stout-Hearted. All they have to do is pay 6 ink, and then you're telling me Stitch can take out Cinderella? That's a really good card. This is a great tech-in if you're scared about the big bodies. Use your Stitch. And then number 3, Transport Pod to the 7 Dwarves Mine is a wombo combo.
We are going to be playing against a aggro list that is running the yellow and green colors, and we should be okay. We're going to be okay. Don't worry about us. We have Transport Pod. That's pretty good. We have Perilous Maze. That's not bad. We have this shift line for John Silver, but not really because this is the 6 drop. We'll get rid of You Came Back. We don't need that. We don't need the big John Silver. We don't need this John Silver. And then that's what we're mulliganing. We're keeping the low-cost stuff, and we're going to be okay. We have to ink a card. Is it Fang River City? No. Is it Perilous Maze? Maybe. Is it Mr. Smee into the Inkwell? And then we are going to play Transport Pod. It was a weird choice that we didn't go for Smee, Captain Hook. That would have been the right choices, but we're doing other stuff. We're doing other stuff that this deck can do that not other decks can do, if you know what I'm saying. Sure, we could have gone that line and gotten our 3 lore, but we're not doing a big ink card, and then they pass the turn. We have our Shift Cinderella line, and that's what we wanted to see. We can then ink this Captain Hook because we're going to be doing other stuff. We'll play our Cinderella. When we play Cinderella, we get to draw a card and discard a card. We get 2 Cinderellas. We have Fang River City. We have our 3 drop. we have our Captain Hook. We got to get rid of the Cinderella. Bum deal, but that's okay. We pass the turn. They ink a card. Do they have something to play for 2? It is Go Tamago. It's a 2/2 character, and we also have a 2/2 character. Our transport pod triggers, but we don't have anywhere to move to, so we're not going to do that. We are going to ink a Captain Hook. Don't need another one of those. And then we can play our Perilous Maze. And then do we quest? I think the answer is yes. And then we pass the turn. We're going to pass. If they take it out, then it'll trade, and then our Perilous Maze will be all set up and ready to go. They have Rapunzel's Tower, though. Didn't see that coming. Now when they challenge, this thing still has 3 willpower left. Did not see that coming for sure. There is John Silver. We are going to ink John Silver and then play our Captain Hook. Does this have 8 willpower? Wow. We could play Fang River City, which might be the coolest thing. And then we pass the turn. We definitely should not have quested that Cinderella, because then we could have shifted next turn. They play a Simba Protective Cub. That's going to be able to swing for 2. They play another Go Tamago. And then they quest for 1 big 1. We're up at 5 lore. We're getting 3 lores for those. We can ink our Hook and then play our John Silver. And we still have ink. We can move it to Fang River City. Yep. Don't mind if I do. That gives it ward, and then we'll pass the turn. They ink. They play a Daisy Duck. They have lots of characters on board. They play a Gazelle. Going to give one of their characters evasive. Evasive? They give to Simba? What? Who is the biggest threat for us is what we're thinking of right now. We gain 1 lore and then 2 lore, and then our transport pod goes off. So our transport pod, whenever a character is challenged while here, or give ward and evasive. So if I move it for free, then the challenge to Simba doesn't go through. I would be able to challenge whatever else I want, like Go or Go. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move it. We get rid of ward and evasive, but that's A-okay with us. We are going to hard cast and then along came Zeus. And I think we want to get rid of Stitch the most because they could power this up too much. Or we could do damage to Rapunzel's Tower, 5 damage, and then take it out. If we do that, and then challenge it with John Silver, then this Go leaves the building. And then we pass the turn. That's what we did. Don't know if it was the best, but I think it means that this thing can be powered up to take out our John Silver. They're questing for 2. We look at the top, it's John Silver. It goes to our hand because it is a character card, and that's what Daisy Duck do be like. It's looked like they're questing and not powering up their thing. They have Hidden Cove, which might be a problem for us. They move Go Tamago to the Hidden Cove and Daisy Duck to the Hidden Cove, making it a 2/5 character. That's crazy. And then they do 3 damage to our Perilous Maze with the Go Tamago. We gain 3 lore with our locations. Love to see it. While all these 3 characters are at the Hidden Cove, we can move to location to gain resist and ward. Yes, we'll do that. Because they did already some damage to the Perilous Maze. We can play our John Silver. When you play this character, whenever you quest, chosen opposing character gains Reckless during their next turn. Don't mind if I do. So we will ink the Smee. And then we will play our John Silver. John Silver is going to give one of these characters Reckless, which is going to be the Daisy Duck. We don't want her questing. Now she is banned from questing, even though that would let us draw a card. What is in my eye? And now we're still at a weird part. We have resist. This would do 1 damage to us if we attack, but we kind of have to. And then this can take out Hidden Cove next turn. No, we couldn't. We're definitely in a weird spot. We have to challenge into there. We'll take 1 damage back. Probably should be questing to, win the game. And then we pass the turn. Boom, boom, boom. We have the Simba doing 2 damage to the Perilous Maze. We have the Stitch taking out the Perilous Maze. Now we lost one of our resist. They have another Stitch. we're scared of the Stitch. They power it up, we're good to go. They use their Tamago to take out the John Silver because our resist has gone, left the building. They're questing for a whole bunch. All of their characters are hitting Cove. And then they do 2 damage to our Fang, the River City. Up to 13 with our 2 lore from there. We get our transport pod trigger to move John Silver to Fang River City. We can ink our morph and then play our Cinderella Stout-Hearted. They can quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 next turn to go to 16. Or we take out Daisy Duck. We can't take out Daisy Duck because this Simba exists. Simba would do 3 to us. Oh, if we quest though. If we quest, we can give Reckless to Daisy again. Daisy, you're Reckless. And then we pass the turn. That's what we got going on. Not a whole lot. It looks like we might lose unless they take out this character. They do 4 damage to Fang River City. Has 2 damage left to it. They use their Gazelle to take it out. They move everybody of theirs into the Hidden Cove. Daisy Duck has to challenge in the Stitch quest. And then if they do 3 damage to John Silver, that means that we did not secure the win there. We have our transport pod, but we have nowhere to move. We get another transport pod, so you better believe we're going to play transport pod. Do we quest to try to win? They can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 next turn. Could they take this out? Not really. We're going to quest and see if they can take out our Cinderella. They surely can if they buff their Stitch, but are they smart enough to buff their Stitch and attack? They quest the Gazelle. They quest the Daisy Duck. When they quest their pirate, they get to draw a card. It's Simba the Protective Cub. They quest their Stitch. And if this Stitch doesn't power up, which they don't, we get the W. Our transport pod goes off, but we have nowhere to move. Our second transport pod goes off, but we have nowhere to move. We get Cinderella. If we play Cinderella, we draw a card, and then we have to discard a card. Goodbye, Dockaroo. And then we quest for 3. There it is. There's the game. If I was playing against a real person, we definitely would have lost. But we got to see some other plays that we have done. This is pretty bad against the aggro, not having spot removal. But I don't know. I think that we're just going up against a really good deck. This Lemon Lime aggro is really good. If they just knew to power up the Stitch and one-shot our stuff, we'd be cooked. Thanks for watching. We put out new videos every day. Please hit the subscribe button.